And that's in Las Vegas.
I want to see the tape. What the hell are you doing here?
Start from the beginning.
I want to see the whole thing.
You want to see the whole thing?
I want to see the whole thing. Because I
whole thing again?
Again, I haven't seen it.
Seen it twice.
No, I want to see it now. I want to see the whole thing, and I'm going to tell you what to cut out, and it better be cut out, because I'll tell you what I'll do. If you come over there with it, and if it isn't right, I'll break the goddamn thing.
What grandparent doesn't
Oh, there's a lot of grandparents that don't care either.
Nobody, none of them.
Yeah, a lot of grandparents don't care. Believe me, they're not like you or I. Believe me, we try. We want to do everything.
I don't know of any grandparents that are different. So name one.
Name one?
Yeah.
I know grandparents when I listen at the club.
Yeah.
That have got more money than you'll ever have.
Yes.
They wouldn't give their grandchildren 5 cents because they just don't do the right thing.
The grandchildren.
Yes.
But they'll have to leave some of it anyway.
They don't care.
I don't know of anybody.
Well, I do. Right in the club, I know several of them.
There are a lot of parents that don't like their own children, but it's seldom that they don't like their grandchildren.
They give the money to Israel, or they'll give the money to charity, or but they will not give it to their grandchildren because the grandchildren don't want to listen to them. Try. Won't do it. I'm telling you. I've seen it.
They're unique people. I'll tell you one story. You know, it was they're coming up to their 50th wedding anniversary. And Dinah and I wanted to do something nice. We wanted to make a banner or a poster or something. And so we were thinking about what we'd put on the banner. And first we said, well, how about 50 wonderful years? Well, they haven't been wonderful. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been fighting for 50 years. And how about 50 glorious years? That wouldn't work either, you know. And how about 50 superlative years? No, that wouldn't work either. How about 50 fantastic years? And that was what we put on the poster, because they have been fantastic years.
I met Joe, and he proposed, and we decided to get married, and that was on a Sunday, and on Tuesday we got married. I thought he was a very handsome boy, and he was a sophisticated fellow, and he knew the world, and he was traveling, and I was just a little, you know. He wore a derby and spats and a cane in an era when only big shots were dressed like that.
I always wash the dishes.
You do?
I always help my wife.
Why do you refuse to wash dishes now?
I'm not refusing. As soon as you leave, I want to wash the dishes.
Can't we get a few shots of you washing dishes?
No.
Why?
Because you'll see how I wash the dishes, and you're liable to copy me, and then you'll start washing dishes. And I don't want you to start to wash dishes until you get married.
Why do you have to get married to start washing dishes?
Well, that's the only time, brother. You don't wash no dishes any other time. You usually go in a restaurant, but when you were at home, you got to help your wife. You got to be good to your wife, and you got to wash dishes and clean and walk the white line. Oh, brother. You see, I was brought up different. When I was a boy and we came over here from Europe in 1901, McKinley was shot. The next day, which was in the cold winter, and we were as poor could be, we didn't know where the next crumb of bread is there. So my brother Bob, which was I think 13, and I must have been about 8, we ran out and started to sell newspapers. And you might say that I've been working ever since.
How are you, Mr. Hudson? Nice to see you.
How you been? How's the family?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, dear. Nice to see you.
You always
darling.
called me Schwarzer, remember?
Schwarzer.
Always called me Schwarzer. You never knew my name.
How's your wife?
Fine. And how's your brother?
Fine, thank you. We talk about you occasionally.
He looks...
Oh, yeah. pretty
Looks
clever.
great, yeah.
For grandfather, you know, following him around all over, huh? Mr. Milton.
I'm back after so many years.
This is Mr. Hudson.
Hello, Mr. Milton. Nice to know you.
Glad to know you, sir.
Nice to see you. Yes, sir.
You
Just
look
like yesterday.
great. You look marvelous. The grandfather looks absolutely magnificent.
celebrated his 80th birthday.
How old?
80.
Oh, God bless him.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Noel. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, I really want to say that I think it's the most wonderful occasion to think that Joe has all his nieces and nephews and his wife, the dog-a-dog, with him.
He's all right, he's damn lucky.
You're right. Everybody's lucky. Anytime you have your wife, you're lucky. Remember, any of these guys that don't have them, you can grab Bog Bagel.
You're not dealing with Joseph and Ethel Kennedy, you know, and that's easy.
Yeah.
To work with somebody whose personality is so dominant, so powerful, so successful, so worldly. When you bring it down to a level of a nanny and pop, a guy that came from Barlad in Romania and a lady from Lithuania that met in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and neither one of them, well, one graduated from high school, and then the other one never even saw high school, you know, and had a family and made a life and what have you. If you put all of that stuff, I mean, then you're working on kind of difficult ground, because these are not people that are so exciting. They're just not Ethel and Joseph Kennedy.
Yeah, well, my childhood was always soft and easy. My father came over here, and my mother helped him, I'll admit that. My mother was the worker. My father was a student, but he was a very bright man, and he always made a living. I always was comfortable. I never had, Dad always made a living.
Well, I mean, your father. That's what I mean.
My father made a living, and Joe made a living.
Right.
And you see, when we first married, for 6 years, I lived with my parents and never gave them a dime, and accumulated that money. Whatever. And he was making a good living. The average woman would have an apartment, and she would be spending the things and so on. But I didn't. I saved it. See? So that gave him a chance to do things that ordinarily, if I had lived up to it, maybe he wouldn't have had a chance to do. Actually, I'm a lot more chintzy than he is.
Yeah.
You know? I'm much more money conscious. I am much more frugal.
That's interesting that would happen.
Oh, yeah, many times that's true. Now, if he had gotten a different kind of a wife, I don't know whether he would have been successful or he wouldn't have been.
She was just typically smarter than everybody else in the room. She just is.
She's a very bright woman.
She's just a very, very bright woman. And you could reason with her, and she would out-reason you.
Yeah.
She would simply out-reason you. You would advance your arguments, and she'd advance her arguments. And she's strong as a tiger. She was strong as a tiger. And she's just a brilliant woman.
What do you think of the impeachment trials?
Well, frankly speaking, I don't think he'll be impeached.
How do you feel about that?
I feel that he should. I feel that he's a big bastard between you, me, and the lamppost, but I don't think that he should be impeached, because I was listening to one of the Republicans talking, and I think he's right that an impeachable thing is only when it concerns the whole country, when it's involved the whole country, but because he does tricky little things, that's not an article of impeachment. And that's why I say that he's not going to be impeached.
Well, do you think he deserves to go to jail then?
Well, yes, you know, after he gets through with his presidency, he can go to jail for a while.
Dad has just never, ever developed a series of interests outside of business. His scope is narrow in that regard, where Nanny's scope is substantially wider, and so that's why it's much more interesting to interview Nanny on varying subjects, because Nanny has an opinion on every topic. Right. You know, she'll tell you what color lipstick everybody should be wearing, you know. She's got an opinion on every topic.
As far as being fair to the Jews, No one is ever fair to the Jews. Now, I thought that Roosevelt was terrific, and he was fair and so on, and I discovered that he was a big scoundrel when it came to the Jews. That there was a boat coming in with people from Germany, children, that had no place to land, and he wouldn't allow them to land in the United States. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm through with Roosevelt, too. He was a very clever man. And when he...
Well, they're all clever.
They're all clever, but he was super clever because his voice and his mannerism and everything thrilled people. And you know, the ordinary individual wants to be thrilled and uplifted by a president. And we can't be thrilled by Tricky Dick.
That's a very interesting, how they're different than, how are her values different than Dad was a shooter.
Yeah.
Dad's a shooter. Dad's a gambler. Dad's out to make money, and he apparently recognized that in order to do it, you got to take a risk. Ma would not take a risk if her life depended on it. She wants money in the bank, and she wants it cold, and she'd rather not be that rich or that well off as long as there are no risks. She'll live modestly and reasonably, and not risk-free. Doesn't care to be rich or powerful or that sort of jazz.
Not a show off.
Not a show off. And I'm not saying that Dad is, but Dad is a shooter. That's his nature, and those two things were at war with each other all through their married life.
The system is, first a man shoots. I don't shoot the craps at all. You see, I don't shoot them. When a man throws, let's say, a 9, I place my bets on a 6 and an 8. See? Now, if he can't make a 6 and an 8, I'm out of luck, you know. I can get more 6s and 8s than I can a 9. And sometimes he throws a 9. And then I pick the 6 and 8s up. Goodbye. Go.
I collect the money. And I encourage him to play. 7 is fine.
Where are you going, 7?
For dinner.
Oh, for dinner.
We'll go to the dunes. Then maybe after
and I want to go back to my
after
hotel.
The dunes, maybe we'll go into the Flamingo for a little while so you can see the Flamingo.
Take me back to my hotel. And when I get damn good and tired, ready to fall, I'll go up and go to bed.
Okay.
I'm ready to fall. You don't believe me. You know, you get awful tired, the same damn thing all the time. You get tired.
Well, if you're making money, you don't get tired.
Oh, you're making money, you're losing money. Don't make a difference, doesn't it? If you're tired, what the hell good is money if you're tired? My health means more to me than money.
Take a drink, Joe.
I don't want to drink.
That's a mistake you make.
Yes.
You have a nice drink, a nice cocktail. Would you boys like a cocktail?
They don't drink.
There's a policeman.
Yeah.
Who's this Ed McMahon?
He's Johnny Carson's...
Oh, I know that big...
Oh,
pew.
That fruity stinkeroos. Very stinkeroos.
So how do you assess your holiday this time?
Well, our holiday was very good, but Grandpa was not in his usual mood. And this idea with you guys coming along like that kind of shook him. You know what I mean?
Why do you think so?
Well, because I know.
Oh, was he complaining?
Not exactly. He wasn't complaining, but the idea that you were taking pictures and this and that. And, you know, he hadn't much faith in this kind of stuff.
Let me say this right now, because, you know, Ma's a little old.
That's right.
You guys are seeing a very pallid copy
You
of what
are
went
right.
on. As early as maybe even 10 years ago. Or most particularly 20 years ago. Let's see, 20 years ago when she was in her 50s or 40s, in the areas where she was certain of herself, like what kind of an education you're going to have, what kind of a girl you're going to marry. The important things, so to speak, the things that she was important about, she didn't have the slightest indecision about these things.
Did your family come over from Europe to get away from the persecution?
Certainly. from the pogroms in Russia. They used to have pogroms, which they would come in a town and kill a bunch of Jews.
Get in,
the Cossacks would come in there.
Ride on horses with the swords and cut the heads off of the Jewish people.
They weren't safe in Russia.
They're not safe today in Russia. We got plenty
But
of
I don't understand it. Why they should feel that kind of an enmity against a people when their God is a Jew. He was born a Jew.
Jesus Christ was a Jew.
And do you really think that Jesus Christ came back from the dead? Can you believe that?
Well, supposing he did come back.
Can you believe that?
It's hard to believe.
Why, that is the most impossible, crazy thing that ever happened, that any people can believe such a nonsensical thing, and yet there's millions of people that believe it. Now that's what's odd about it. The only people that don't believe it are Jews. I do believe that there's a force of some kind, there's something. What the hell it is, I don't know. All right, so we call him God. There is something, but certainly not a human being like Jesus. Who was he? Do you believe in the Immaculate Conception? Well, why don't you? According to the Catholics, Mary's baby was born immaculately. Hoochie coochie. We agree that he was born.
Jesus was
a radical among conservatives. He was a free thinker at a time when they were very bigoted in their believing and in their thinking and so on and so forth. You know, he was, but at this time he would be called a radical.
In the course of making this tape, we've discovered that Pop's major interest is talking about either his real estate or the jewelry store, or his career relating to that, starting from the beginning to the present date, right? Nanny is much more philosophical about things, much more analytical about things, right? And so we can't seem to get at anything. Well, what we've discovered is that the essence of Pop is those interests and those preoccupations. It seems to be. I mean,
a man is his work. Don't you understand that? Just like you are, your work.
Right.
And you will be your work. He is his work. You cannot. He's without his work.
Right.
He ceases to be himself.
Right.
He loses his self-image, and he is in bad shape.
Why can't you go into that? It's a wonderful business to be in. Yeah, you own Hudson's Jewelers. People that really hear Hudson's Jewelers, you're somebody. You're a nobody with these goddamn pictures that you're taking and this trying to be a teacher of this or that or the other. This is all crazy. It's all crazy, I'm telling you. If you're going to live in this United States, you must have money. Without money, you can't live. Roddy Klein, why he owns Hudson Jewelers? Who owns Hudson Jewelers? Right away, they'll try to marry you off, to do something, to be with you. You got something. God damn it, you got something. And here you got it, and you haven't got it. When I see that going on, I think you're such a fool. You're an absolutely fool.
I have to make my own decisions.
You make your own decisions. Your decisions ain't worth a shit. They ain't worth a damn. I'm trying to tell you something. I built up a business with Hudson Jewelers that is known all over the United States. You know why I like the jewelry business? Because a diamond you can always get money. Gold you can always get money. That's why I like the jewelry business. If you haven't got the money in the pocket, I don't care how proud you are. You can be as proud as you want, but as long as you haven't got that dough, that's what counts.
His values are very strong, and they haven't changed much.
Right.
Like, for example...
Doctor, lawyer, merchant.
Well, cleanliness. He has a certain value of cleanliness. He has a certain habit about feeling about women.
Yeah.
They're good ones and they're bad ones.
If a woman would live with you, she has lived with others, and she's a natural tramp. If two people love each other, they should get married.
What happens if one's black, one is white? What happens if they don't want to marry because of...
They either both insane or one is insane. That's all I can tell you.
At this time of life, when you know, when we're getting older, men are very scarce. Women outlive men all the time.
Yeah, why is that?
I really don't know why it is, but it's true. I think women have less tensions. See? Men who are in business have a lot of tensions. Whatever it is, or maybe the makeup. See? The physical makeup. Women are born to bear pain and to take things in their stride. Men aren't, you know, they're all pampered.
There's nothing like honesty to live with. You gotta be honest and truthful. And if you're not honest and truthful, you never get along in this world.
In my era, a divorce was a tremendous thing. Nowadays, a divorce doesn't mean anything. Living together was an unheard of thing. Nowadays, it's common knowledge.
So you're saying that as a result of the fact that it was such a major social, emotional thing that you wouldn't really consider it as
That's right, but there isn't a couple in the world that are married that at one time or another wish that they weren't. What I would have liked to have been is an actress. I would have liked to have gone on with that kind of thing, but my parents thought that was just like going down the hill somewhere.
Do you think if you were a young woman today that you would have pursued it?
Yeah, definitely. I regret not having to follow that kind of a course. And I can't say what I want to on this radio. Because I don't want to.
I'm kind of curious as to how much because we're taping you, how much you've like held back from telling us.
I haven't held back anything, really. Just my innermost feelings I've held back.
Don't you think those are important?
No, they're not.
Why?
Because they might hurt people or hurt things, and I don't want to do that, so I would tell them.
Don't you think that's necessary to get out?
No, not at my stage of life. It might have been 25, 30 years ago, but not now.
Now maybe it's too late for you, but I'm curious why 25 or 30 years ago you wouldn't.
Because I was a coward. That's why. I happen to feel that I want to be comfortable, and I don't want eruptions, and I don't want to worry about where things will come, where my next meal will come, and I don't want all these things. I never did.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel relatively happy with your life?
No. Anything but.
You've always had the appearance of me.
You don't even know me.
And there's no way out, no way. Everybody has to die. Now the question is, when you're going to die, that's up to God. I believe in God.
The only thing that's frightening about death to me is a constant illness, where you're so in limbo. You're not here nor there. You're miserable, and so on and so forth, and suffering and pain. But if it happens to be that you're going and no one tells you about it, and you go click click,
that's a blessing.
That sounds very good.
That's a blessing.
Sure.
When you just go.
But of course, it's at our age that we feel that way. But when you're just at the prime of life, you're not going to feel like that. You know, you're going to feel kind of scary about a thing like that, and you don't even think about it. I mean, when you're young, you never think about those things. But as you grow older, you do. The thing that's scaring about when you two people have lived as long as we have together, or at any time, is the aloneness if one leaves or the other leaves. The aloneness is the only scaring thing about one dying and the other left alone. But the thing that remains with you is the memories, the memory of those people. And that you never really lose that.
Especially if the party that goes has got a memory that he was a nice guy,
Beautiful
he did
memories.
the right thing, that he was honest, he never cheated anybody, he didn't go to jail, he didn't murder anybody, he didn't do this and that.
I don't think that
had a clean record.
Really, the thing is this, that when you're young, when a person dies and you're young and you hear it, it kind of shocks you. But when you get older and people die when they know, you know that they have to die anyway, then the things that remain with you is the things that you remember about them that you've enjoyed all that time. Those are the things that you remember.
You might as well be dead, because if you go, the only way you could be is on a wheelchair.
Now look,
when they wheel you around.
All right, now let's
walk.
forget this nonsense about death and sicknesses and things like that. When the time comes, we go. We'll say goodbye and good luck.
Do you really feel that way?
Absolutely.
That's the way life
I
is.
feel.